After his brother dies under mysterious circumstances, gangster Jack Carter returns to his hometown, determined to uncover the truth. Hey everyone, welcome back to Film Decoded. Today we're recapping Get Carter from 2000. So, let's jump straight into another great recap. Jack Carter is exactly the kind of guy you don't want showing up at your front door. The movie opens with Jack, a ruthless mob enforcer, violently confronting a compulsive slot machine gambler. Alongside his partner Connie, he collects debts for the Mafia the hard way. And trust me, they're not known for offering payment plans. But everything changes when Jack learns that his younger brother, Richard, has supposedly died in a drunk driving accident. Unable to shake the feeling that something isn't right, Jack decides to return to his hometown and investigate, despite Connie strongly opposing the idea and insisting their Mafia boss needs him back in Las Vegas. Ignoring the warnings, Jack boards a long train ride from Las Vegas to Seattle, where Richard's funeral is being held. When he arrives, he's greeted with cold silence by Richard's widow, Gloria. Although their relationship is clearly strained, she allows Jack to attend the funeral service. After the ceremony, Jack approaches Richard's close friend, Eddie, hoping to uncover any clues about his brother's death. Eddie insists Richard was a good man who never made enemies, leaving Jack with more questions than answers. Next, Jack notices his niece, Doreen, standing alone and smoking during the funeral. He tries to comfort her, but she barely acknowledges him. After all, he spent most of her life away, so they hardly know each other. As he's about to leave, Jack questions another woman about Richard's death, but she refuses to tell him anything. Later, the mourners gather at Gloria's house, where Jack once again brings up his suspicions surrounding Richard's accident, making everyone visibly uncomfortable. Eventually, Gloria asks him to stop, explaining that everyone is grieving and doesn't want to discuss it anymore. Jack steps outside and joins Doreen for a cigarette. For the first time, we see a softer side of him as he genuinely worries about her father's death. Doreen then reveals something that immediately catches Jack's attention. She insists Richard wasn't an alcoholic, suggesting someone may have deliberately gotten him drunk before the crash. Even while dealing with her grief, she can't ignore how suspicious everything feels. As the night goes on, Jack returns to the house and quietly asks Gloria whether she and Richard had argued before his death. Feeling accused, Gloria initially becomes defensive, believing Jack is blaming her. But after a while, she realizes he's asking because he truly cared about Richard, even after being absent from the family for more than 5 years. Later that night, Jack receives an angry phone call from his boss in Las Vegas, furious that he left town without permission. Not long afterward, Connie calls as well, demanding that Jack return to Las Vegas immediately. Jack refuses, insisting he has unfinished business. Frustrated, Connie even threatens to expose Jack's affair with the boss's girlfriend, Audrey. Despite the threat, Jack keeps his cool. Finding out what really happened to his younger brother matters more than anything else. The following day, Jack visits the bar where Richard worked and meets the owner, Cliff, who apologizes for missing the funeral. Jack asks about Richard's behavior at work, and Cliff describes him as an honest, hardworking employee. Although he's initially offended by Jack's questions about the accident, Cliff eventually calms down and even hands over the security camera footage to prove he has nothing to hide. Before Jack leaves, Cliff casually mentions a woman named Geraldine, revealing she had been Richard's lover. The unexpected revelation completely changes the direction of Jack's investigation. Determined to learn more, Jack decides to visit Cyrus, an old acquaintance with ties to the local mob. To his surprise, Jack finds Cyrus talking with Geraldine, the very same mysterious woman who avoided his questions at the funeral. Rather than confronting her directly, Jack tries to get answers from Cyrus instead. Cyrus, however, dodges every question. Instead, he brags about his successful new business while mocking Jack's career in Las Vegas. Annoyed, Jack decides to leave, but one of Cyrus's bodyguards blocks his way. After dealing with the thug in a brief fight, Jack secretly follows Cyrus to a golf course, where he witnesses him negotiating the services of a young woman for a wealthy businessman named Jeremy. Realizing this could be important, Jack approaches Jeremy. Mentioning Richard's death immediately makes Jeremy nervous. At first, he refuses to talk, but Jack's intimidating presence quickly changes his mind. As they walk across the golf course, Jack asks about Cyrus, but Jeremy still hesitates. Only after Jack pressures him does Jeremy finally admit that Cyrus supplies women to entertain investors connected to his company. Once he's said enough, Jeremy tells Jack to leave. Later, Jeremy contacts Cyrus, confirming Jack's suspicions. Now Jack is convinced they're hiding something connected to Richard's murder. His suspicions are confirmed moments later when Jeremy orders Cyrus to get rid of Jack as quickly as possible. That night, Jack calls Audrey to see how she's doing. Tired of keeping their relationship a secret, he promises to take her away with him once he returns to Las Vegas. Unfortunately for Jack, Audrey isn't interested anymore and turns him down. Later, Jack visits Gloria again, and this time she slowly begins to open up. During a walk through the park, she talks about how difficult life has become since Richard died. She mentions that Doreen has become withdrawn and spends hours wandering around the city alone. As they continue talking, Gloria wonders why Jack is suddenly so determined to find Richard's killer after showing so little interest in the family for years. Jack quietly admits he's trying to make up for lost time. Blood is blood, and some debts can't be paid with money. Back at his hotel, Jack reviews the security footage Cliff gave him. As he watches the recordings, he notices Richard talking to Geraldine while Eddie is standing nearby. Wasting no time, Jack tracks down Eddie and demands Geraldine's address. When he finally confronts Geraldine, he pressures her about what happened on the day of Richard's accident and the events captured on the security cameras. After relentless questioning, Geraldine finally breaks. She admits she had been having an affair with Richard and reveals that he wanted her to leave town with him because of the problems in his marriage. When she refused, Richard turned to alcohol, leading to the fatal crash. Her confession leaves Jack speechless, but something still doesn't sit right. Deep down, he refuses to believe the whole story. Convinced there's more to uncover, he digs even deeper. Soon afterward, Jack meets an old gangster acquaintance who unexpectedly offers him a plane ticket, an obvious attempt to get him out of town and away from the investigation. Furious, Jack refuses, and the conversation quickly turns into a heated argument. The gangster suddenly makes a run for it, stealing a car and forcing Jack into a high-speed chase. After catching him, Jack demands to know who sent him. The answer surprises him. It was Cliff. Without wasting another second, Jack storms into Cliff's bar, gun in hand, demanding answers. Cliff insists he knows nothing and claims he was only following Cyrus's orders. Jack immediately heads to confront Cyrus, accusing him of murdering Richard. Cyrus calmly denies everything, insisting he never had any problems with Richard and only cared about his business. He warns Jack not to jump to conclusions, suggesting Richard's death really was just an accident. Feeling like he's hit another dead end, Jack unexpectedly runs into Doreen and invites her out for dinner. As they spend time together, uncle and niece finally begin to bond. Jack openly shares what he's discovered so far, and for the first time, Doreen starts trusting him. Late that night, Jack drives her home, but as they arrive, he senses something isn't right. Feeling uneasy, he stays outside while Doreen goes in. Moments later, Jack hears a struggle inside the house. He rushes in but is attacked by a mysterious intruder who manages to escape before Jack can catch him. Gloria is found unconscious with a serious head injury, forcing Jack to call both the police and an ambulance. Shaken by the attack, Gloria begs Jack to go back to Las Vegas, fearing that his investigation is only making things more dangerous. Back at his hotel, Jack finds Doreen waiting there. She'd rather stay with him than return to her grandmother's house, despite Gloria's wishes. While Doreen sleeps, Jack goes through the security footage again. This time, he notices Geraldine secretly handing Richard a CD. Determined to find out what's on it, Jack confronts Geraldine once more. But instead of answering his questions, she takes him directly to Jeremy's office. There, Jeremy finally tells his side of the story. He explains that Cyrus had been blackmailing him with a compromising videotape, forcing him to finance Cyrus's illegal operations. Jeremy also reveals details about Richard's final meeting with Cyrus before offering to join forces with Jack and bring Cyrus down together. Jack isn't interested in partnerships. He decides to keep working alone. Not long afterward, his Mafia boss from Las Vegas calls again. By now, he knows all about Jack's secret relationship with Audrey and threatens to kill her unless Jack returns immediately. Completely unfazed, Jack warns his boss that if anything happens to Audrey, the retaliation will be brutal. Ignoring the threat, Jack returns to Gloria's house, which is still surrounded by police tape. He's searching for one thing, the mysterious CD Geraldine gave Richard. After tearing apart the bedroom, he finally discovers it hidden inside a small piggy bank. When he plays the disc, Jack is horrified. The footage shows Doreen being sexually assaulted by Eddie. Realizing she could still be in danger, Jack races back to save her. As he steps into the elevator, Connie and several of his men confront him. They've been sent from Las Vegas to kill him. In an oddly polite moment, everyone waits for another passenger to exit the elevator before the fight begins. The instant the doors close, all hell breaks loose. Jack quickly overwhelms them and escapes. Soon afterward, he finds Doreen on the rooftop, where she finally opens up about the trauma she suffered and the guilt she's been carrying. She believes her father's death happened because he wanted revenge for what Eddie had done to her. Jack comforts her, but inside, his anger reaches its breaking point. Just then, Jack receives a voicemail from Geraldine. She reveals that Richard had planned to expose Eddie and Cyrus to the police, giving them the perfect motive to silence him. Jack rushes to Geraldine's house, only to find her dead. Certain Eddie is responsible, he tracks him down at Cliff's bar. Jack intimidates him until Eddie finally admits to assaulting Doreen. Any restraint Jack had left instantly disappears. Ignoring Eddie's desperate pleas, Jack beats him to death. As Jack leaves, Connie and his remaining men chase after him. A high-speed pursuit follows, but Jack outsmarts them, eliminating Connie and the rest of the crew before heading straight to Jeremy's party. There, he confronts Cyrus one last time about Richard's murder. Even now, Cyrus refuses to accept responsibility, blaming everything on Jeremy, despite it being obvious that he was the one profiting from the tape of Doreen's assault. Furious, Jack unleashes all of his rage on Cyrus. Already wounded from the earlier fights, Jack begins to lose the upper hand. But when Cyrus finally admits his role in Richard's murder, something inside Jack snaps. Drawing strength from the memory of his brother, Jack gets back to his feet. Then, before Cyrus can celebrate his apparent victory, Jack brutally beats him to death. Afterward, Jack forces Jeremy to take him to the place where Richard was murdered. Once they arrive, Jack puts Jeremy through the very same ordeal Richard suffered. Terrified, Jeremy finally confesses. He admits he helped kill Richard because he was afraid Richard would expose everything to the police. Jack raises his gun, but after seeing genuine remorse in Jeremy's eyes, he lowers it. Despite everything Jeremy has done, Jack decides to spare his life, giving him a second chance. With his revenge finally complete, Jack prepares to leave town. But as he walks toward his car, he's shocked to catch Cliff stealing the CD containing the footage of Doreen's assault. Cliff claims he only wants to destroy the evidence, but Jack doesn't believe a single word. Without hesitation, he raises his gun and shoots him. In the film's final scene, Jack visits Richard's grave and says a quiet goodbye to Doreen. With the truth finally uncovered and old debts settled, Jack leaves for Las Vegas, ready to begin a new chapter of his life.